get started. Welcome, everyone. We're really happy to have you here today. My name is Chase Brofman. I'm with the CSAC Finance Corporation. We also have Alan Fernandez, Chief Executive Officer with the CSAC Finance Corporation, Brian Bolt, Nancy Jerez from our Treasury Curve team. We are really excited to have them on today. Thank you all for joining us.
Great. Thanks, Chase, for getting us started. My name, as Chase said, is Alan Fernandez. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the CSAC Finance Corporation. CSAC stands for the California State Association of Counties. So we are the umbrella broad organization representing all counties in California. The Finance Corporation is the part of the state association that manages its member services, member and business services. And it is our job to find solutions to help county government in one way, shape, or form. We are excited about today's presentation and content. It is to learn about a partnership that we formed recently for a treasury management solution and offerings, and immediately introduce Nancy Jerez from Treasury Curve to lead off and introduce the team and walk us through the presentation. So take it away, Nancy.
I very much appreciate the warm welcome, Alan. I am Nancy Jerez, Senior Director with Treasury Curve. And with me today, I have Brian Bolt, who is Director of Client Experience at Treasury Curve. We greatly appreciate having the time with you today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and jump on in here. So let me get the screen sharing going on. And if everybody can confirm they can see my screen, I think we have technology working.
Looks great.
Wonderful. So Treasury exists in all state and local governments that have bank and asset management accounts. The problem is, if they have more than one bank or asset manager, they're all struggling to manage all the related data and transactions. At Treasury Curve, we've created a Transactive dashboard that solves this problem by aggregating the data across all providers and making it easy to understand and manage. As Alan mentioned, CSAC has partnered with Treasury Curve to ensure that members have the tools they need to succeed. And what we're seeing on this screen here is a screen that one of our clients used as part of their process of incorporating Treasury Curve to capture the way that they get value from use of our solution. And so their view is that they are saving time and money. And so my hunch is that many of you on the phone today and via the Zoom also have the opportunity to save both time and money as part of your Treasury technology solution that we're discussing today. So as far as the premise here, we'll just go on the fact that there is time and money to be saved. And then what we'll do today is we'll confirm and align on your key priorities in relation to your Treasury, discuss the challenges that you face as part of your Treasury team, and share stories and insights on what others are doing to minimize the wasting of time and money and optimize their Treasury function to deliver greater value to their organizations. And then last, we'll align on next steps. Before we dive into the challenges that we often see Treasury organizations facing, we want to make sure that we're aligned with the objectives and the priorities that you face. And so as we're talking to Treasury organizations, we typically see these priorities to decrease manual effort, reduce process inefficiencies, eliminate costly errors, improve visibility, lower costs, optimize cash, and last but not least, to improve workflow and compliance. Oftentimes, compliance is one that is the top priority. And so everything that we are doing has to serve the compliance gods, if you will, so that we're making sure all of those requirements and documentation of those procedures are followed. And what we're looking at here, as we have mapped out what the Treasury state often looks like, is we see oftentimes an organization that has a lot going on, from the bank accounts and their asset managers. And the typical solution is one where our clients are having to access their bank accounts and asset managers, and they're essentially having to log in separately for all of these. And there is typically a person or persons that are assigned with pulling down all of the data from their banks and asset management, just so that they can start to pull this together in a spreadsheet. And so we've created some polling questions for the audience. Chase, if you can go ahead and push out polling question number 1 and number 2. These questions are asking if you are facing having to log on to multiple institutions. Are you having to download bank information into Excel as part of your process? And so the polling questions are now out. If you'd like to respond to them, they're ready for your response. And so once all of the information is going into a larger spreadsheet, Treasury typically has to get information from other departments and create an overall picture of the day's cash needs and priorities. So what you see on this picture of inefficient Treasury, where you see the dollar sign and the warning sign, that essentially could be costly errors that are made from bad data, or human entry where error is made, or massaging of the data that didn't get entered correctly. And then you see the communication channel, the email, the attachments, which can make for a messy workflow. And then you also see some of the typical comments, which are, is this the right amount? Where's the pass key? Who approved this? Is this legitimate as far as a transaction? Is this an error? Are you done yet? That's the common one. Are you done yet? Because it has to go through the flow of the process. Did you get my email for approval? Will this meet the deadline? So all of this kind of workflow and questioning is part of the process, and sometimes is hard to document. And so when we go to, okay, wonderful, thank you for sharing that, Chase. That's great data and aligned to what we typically hear. And so why Treasury Curve? So Treasury Curve is focused on optimizing Treasury at the start of what we call our Transactive dashboard. And so what that dashboard is it allows you to see what you need to see, and who needs to see it is able to access it. And you can access it on any device. And they are able to get done what needs to get done in a very efficient manner. And what makes this all possible is what we call our one source, a cloud-based solution that brings together intelligent automation, aggregated data, and necessary controls. It's the hub that interacts with spreadsheets, enterprise systems, your banks and accounts, and your asset managers and all the related accounts, all in near real time. This makes your Treasury automated, timely, and accurate. And what makes Treasury Curve different? There are 3 key areas that we are differentiated on. First, controlled intelligent automation. Accounts can be automatically balanced, and free cash can be invested on the limits that you set on a preset basis. Next is banking and investments combined. Only Treasury Curve can help you manage your free cash as one entity for both bank accounts and investments across more than 11,000 financial institutions. And last, we are regulated. What makes us able to do what we are discussing is that we are regulated to do so. And with all of this in one place, we can help make better use of everyone's time, create time for doing value-added thinking and doing your best work, and maximizing the financial value of your Treasury organization. So our Transactive Treasury dashboard allows you to do these functions. You can see all balances and transactions from all of your institutions, both bank and investment. You can move money, and moving money is the ability to do wires and ACH and all payment types that we enable on Treasury Curve. It allows you to invest with all of our investment partners that we have available and have partnered with, and it allows you to forecast and reconcile in an automated way. You can manage workflow and compliance free setup on the front end, as well as on an ongoing basis for your auditors who are going to come in and ask for these reports. And then last, you can generate all the reporting needs that you have. Our reporting is very robust. It's powered by Power BI and enables you to see and do the things that you need in your reporting in a very efficient way. And next, I'm going to move to our Transactive Treasury dashboard so you can get a snapshot of what it looks like. And this dashboard provides key, easy to digestible way that you can see all your cash and investments. It provides details, enables customization. It allows you to identify opportunities. So for example, it will show you if you have excess cash to invest, and it gives you the unique ability to transact. So a lot of dashboards allow you to see the data, but they don't have the ability to transact. And so with Treasury Curve, you can transact. And what that means is you can move money, you can do payments, you can invest, and that functionality is tied into our solution and allows you to do things in both a way where you control it or fully automated. And then I'm going to share our Treasury Curve solution with you here to give you the full picture of our solution. So typically we see clients start with the core solution as the first area of gaining visibility to all of their accounts and all of their details and being able to get their cash positioning reporting very efficiently. It allows them to invest, and it allows them to make intrabank transfers as well. And then typically we see clients move to the option of moving money, where they then add payments and that functionality. And so they're able to utilize Treasury Curve, not just to see everything, but also to do payments across all of their banking institutions. And then next, we see clients typically move to forecast and reconcile to automate their forecasting and reconcilement process to gain even more efficiency. And then the last step we typically see is the integrate option. And what that allows our clients to do is to integrate with their backend systems or ERP systems, so that when they have reconciled data, then it can fully automate into the backend systems that our clients have, ERP systems, etc. And so with this, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stop sharing, and I'm going to turn the screen over to Brian Bolt, our Director of Client Experience, so that he can show us the demo, and we will go right over to you, Brian.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Bolt. As Nancy stated, I am Director of Customer Service. Nancy, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Before we start, I just want to give you guys an idea. I held many treasury management jobs, so I've been on the practitioner side, and so I feel the pain in the way I approach this demo as if I'm sitting in your chair, because I've been there. So, and feel free to ask questions as we go. I'm happy to answer them as much as I can. So here is our dashboard. So Nancy showed you a glimpse. This one looks a little bit different than the one she was showing. What that means is we have the ability to really customize the dashboard any way you want it. As Nancy stated, this is powered by Power BI. And what I really love, this is one of my number one favorite screenshots, because I would come in the morning and I would have to go to my multiple bank portals, download all the information, put it into my Excel spreadsheets, and then present that to the CFO all within an hour. Here, what we've done is really taken all of that, whether you have one bank with many accounts or many banks with one account or many banks with many accounts. All of that information can be brought into Treasury Curve via SWIFT, the direct connection, the bank-to-bank secure connection. So here I can see what my total cash position is just being on my dashboard. So here I can say, okay, what is my total cash this morning? Well, it's over $206 million. What are my money fund balances? So if you're using our solution to also invest your excess cash, you're going to be able to see what you have invested through that. And what's really cool, especially if you have an investment policy that you have to abide by, you can kind of go back down here and say, okay, how much do I have with each provider? When I managed cash, I had it broken down by percentages. So I only could have a certain percentage to one investment provider. Over here, I can see this any way you want to. You can do it by institution, you can do it by account type, you can do it by division. So you can have your public entity as your top parent company. I can have a finance department, I can have a fire department. I can also do it by bank account. I could say, okay, how much of my balance is made up of Bank of America? I can click on the Bank of America, and then I can see what the balances represent. So again, all of this stuff is all customizable. You have the ability to export it as well to Excel. So a lot of our customers will take this information and they will just click on the export to Excel, and then they have the ability to export this. I can also see it in different formats if I want to see it by table. Here you can finally see my US bank account. I clicked on that, and it makes up roughly $20 million of my bank balances. So again, fully customizable. You have the ability to slice and dice it any way you want. Next, as a practitioner, I would go to my accounts grid. And what the accounts grid is, it's really more detail of everything that made up the dashboard balances. So when I come to the cash grid, you can see here, I have it broken down by divisions. So again, we can part of my job is to really help you figure out how you want to see your data. And then I help with the onboarding process. We call it our white glove process, our white glove service, where I'm doing most of the heavy lifting, most of the initial work, so you don't have to. So here again, I can come in and I can see the detail that makes up my various balances. The other really cool thing is you're going to see different colors. And the colors are important because here I can see blue is forecast. So anything in the future is my forecasted dollar amounts. Anything that's pink, that means a statement came in, but the beginning balance plus or minus my transactions did not equal my ending balance. Maybe the bank forgot to send us a transaction. Green is good. Green means everything came in through the bank, everything's balanced. Yellow means no statement. So yellow is usually on a holiday or weekends. And then clear is today's data. Here you can see M, which means manual. So some clients, if you have very little transactions and just want the balance, some of our clients will just say, hey, I don't want to go through Swift. I will just manually put in that balance. And that's what that represents. I can also go further into that information, and I could say, okay, well, here's my B of A account. I have a bunch of incoming payments. Let me see the details. So I can go in here and see exactly what the bank has sent me. So here you can see the various transactions that make up that balance. And then anything the bank sends us, we capture. So in the comments section, this could be, you name it, it's whatever you ask your customers to send in, or your various divisions to send in. It can be invoice numbers, it can be reference numbers, it can be really anything that we capture here. The other really cool thing is I can also move money. So here I can just come in here and I can do all my wire transfers. I can come in, we can help you create wire templates. So you have templates, we can upload those templates and they're going to show up here. And so here you can see, okay, well, which division do I want it out of? I can click on that. And if I had some templates in here, it would pre-populate that template. And so all I'd have to do is put in that transaction date and then that dollar amount. So it's very powerful from a payment standpoint. We can do wires, we can do ACH, very flexible. The next thing I'm going to show you is our forecasting and reconciliation module. And this is actually my second favorite place on the solution, because I can see here, you'll see on the left-hand side is going to be all the transactions and forecasts that I've put in. I either uploaded it via my import template, or maybe I'm integrated with my ERP system, so I was able to upload it that way, or I had them manually put in. So here I can, again, break it down by division, break it down by account groups, and break it down by banks. I can also do date ranges. So here I'm just going to go to the 8th. I'm going to refresh. What this again is going to do, anything on the left-hand side is my forecast, transactional forecast. Anything on the right-hand side is what came in through the bank, okay? So the really cool thing here is, and this is my favorite feature of the solution, is I can auto-reconcile. So when I push this button, auto-reconcile, what that's going to do is it's going to look at my transactional forecast, and it's going to look at what came in from the bank statement. It's going to look at the bank account. It's going to look at the dollar amount. It's going to look at other information, and then it's going to try to auto reconcile. So once I push this, keep your eye on this field here and that field here, and here we go. So as you can see, you see handshakes. So what that means is the system was able to say, hey, I found an $11 million transaction with that same account number, same information. If I click here, I can see which one it reconciled with, okay? So that's a reconciled item. It can also recognize that, okay, well, my forecast only said 10,000,008, but it came in at 11. The system recognizes saying, hey, this could be a possible match. There'll be a pop-up window to say, hey, this is a match. If so, what do you want to do with the difference? And we run into a lot of that with like foreign exchange transactions, which you probably wouldn't have. But again, if it helps you become a better forecasting person, and the system also gets smarter. The other cool thing is that the system will automatically assign category names based on keywords. So for example, if I look at this transaction and say, well, anything that comes in with beach in it, that's really a different category. So I can come in and I can create a category if I had one in there and say, okay, anything that has beach in it, assign it to this category. And there's subcategories too. So you could have payroll as a category, and then under payroll, you could have payroll taxes and salaries, and you can have that automatically assign it to those categories. Then once you have these all reconciled, you have the ability to export it to Excel. So a lot of clients will export this to their Excel and then upload it into their ERP system or whatever they're using to reconcile the information.
Ryan, quick question. We did have one come in the chat in reference to foreign transactions. It was asked if this automation is only available in the US or if it's available overseas.
Sure. Great question. So no, this is a global application. We have a number of global clients all over the world. Russia's a little challenging right now, as you can imagine, but we're connected to over 200,000 banks, and most banks, if not all, are connected to SWIFT, either directly or via a correspondent. So we absolutely are a global solution, and we have a number of global clients that use it today. Thanks for the question. Keep them coming. Okay. So that's the dashboard, the accounts grid, the move money, forecast, and reconciliation. The other nice thing is reporting. So we have a number of reporting options. And again, our reporting solution is powered by Power BI, and it's very flexible, very customizable, and it looks a lot like the dashboard. I'll just give it a second to load. I have a lot of data in here, and my Wi-Fi is a little slow, so it's a lot faster this in production.
While that's loading up, Brian, I did see the other question that came in, and I'm not sure if that got shared with the attendees, but maybe you could touch on that if there's going to be a replacement for all that non-value added work. I saw you answered it in the chat. I wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah. So, so someone, I think their question was, could this replace non-value jobs or non-value tasks? And I said yes, because I feel like coming in every morning and having to go to your bank portals, downloading that information is really, in my mind, non-essential. So our solution takes over all of that and lets you focus on bigger projects, better projects than this. Hopefully that answers their question.
Yeah, I think it did. We had another one come in. It said, are there special softwares made for this? This is the software, if I'm understanding at least that question correctly.
Yep. So this is a SaaS-based solution. So it's a internet cloud-based solution. So you can access it on your phone, you can access it on your tablet, you can access it on a computer. And this has the ability, again, I usually access it on my iPhone in the morning just to make sure balances are coming in and everything looks good. So I'll just log in the morning on my iPhone and take a look at all the activity. So this is the solution. And again, part of my job is, the fact that when I onboard a customer, you don't need any I don't need any technology resources. So from an onboarding standpoint versus other software solutions, you don't have to bring in IT and all these departments to focus on it. We just provide you onboarding documents, and I've got it laid out pretty well, myself and my team. We help you put it together, fill out the information. Really, it's your hierarchy, it's your accounts, who you bank with. Once we get that information, I provide you with an email that says, that you are able to send to your bank relationship manager that basically says, hey, we are working with Treasury Curve. We give Brian and his team permission to work on our behalf. From there, myself and my team take over and we talk with the bank, get the Swift automation set up and get it up and running. So, again, I really stress that white glove service because a lot of others do not provide that. So here's the reporting. So again, everybody likes to see their data differently. So here we can structure this really any way you want to look at it. And again, you can have it. So this is if you are international, you can go, by country, you can go by region. I can go by companies. Okay, so that means, my public entity. Then I can have under there, I can have all these other entities. So I can slice and dice it any way I want to. We can also go daily, weekly, quarterly, annually reports. So you get to see the data that way as well. I can come over here, I can switch it from rows to columns. And then I have the ability here to drill down. So I can drill down to any level I want to. And then as with the dashboard, you have the ability again to export this data into Excel. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you our investment capabilities. So on the investment side, as I talked about our dashboard, where we are connected to hundreds of the money managers out there. We have hundreds of investments available for you to invest in. And the way it works is, you probably don't want your users to have access to 400 different funds. So one of Nancy's expertise coming from the money management side is she can help pick which funds are, that most customers use. And then we create what we call a solar system that enables you to pick from. So here you can see my solar system. So from say 400 funds that are out there, these are the ones I chose. So when your user goes out to trade, you can be rest assured that they're not going out there and just picking some random fund. They have to pick from these funds. And we have all of the information out there. We get a feed every day with current rates. It gives you everything you need to know about the fund, the 1-day yield, 7-day, so on and so forth. So it's very easy from here. I just can click on, say, okay, I want to buy into a Morgan Stanley fund. I can just come over here and I can just go to the drop down and I can buy. Once I hit this buy, it's going to create a trade ticket. And then from there, I just fill in that trade ticket, dollar amount, share quantity, whatever it is. I can also change the trade date. So for example, maybe I'm not going to be in the office tomorrow, but I know I need to create a trade for tomorrow. I can date it for tomorrow and that trade will go. I can also pick which settlement account I want to come from. So it's very flexible in how you want to do your trading. Then I can confirm it. Once I confirm it, that is going to the money manager as a trade. And then we also have the ability to automatically send that wire that's tied to that trade to the money fund manager. What's also really cool about the investment side is you have the ability to set minimums and maximums in an account. So our autonomous treasury, which is our latest feature, is so cool. So I can set a minimum. So say in my B of A account, anytime there's anything over $5 million, I want it to automatically sweep into my chosen investment. So that is very powerful. It'll just sweep at the end of the day, right before fund cutoff, and it'll sweep that excess cash into that fund, and as well as send the wire. Same thing on the redeem side. So if my minimum is under my, or if my account balance falls below the threshold, so say it's $5 million is my minimum set, my balance is 4 million, it'll automatically redeem that cash from that money fund provider. Okay.
Brian, let's turn over to Chase to have him give the poll for interest rate rising environments and who has a plan specific to a higher rate environment. Chase, could you send that question out for us?
Yeah, do three and yeah, the other one too. There's a reconciliation one too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank
We'll
you.
see how this one comes in and then we'll launch the reconciliation.
Perfect.
Great questions, attendees. We appreciate those. Love the engagement. Keep them coming.
Yeah, please ask questions. Yes, if there's something you want to see deeper dive into, feel free to ask questions at this point, please. Yeah, okay. Higher interest rate, 67%.
And I'll go ahead and launch the bank reconciliation now.
And if we don't have any additional questions, it looks like we have a couple questions, so we'll let you take those, Chase, after we finish the poll, and we'll get the questions addressed.
I can, as people are answering that, I can address the questions if you want. Can you buy individual securities, or is this limited to funds? Yep, good question. Today we are, it is only funds, no individual securities. We are rolling out additional investments in the next 2 quarters. So that will be a later option. So you manually reconciling 64%, yes. Yeah, the really cool thing too about the reconciliation module, and especially say you have accounts payable people that need to see what what wires went out, what kind of information has come in. We have the ability to have various different levels of users. So you can have a user that has view only. So view only means I can go in, I can look at the reports, I can generate reports, I can look at the information, but I can't transact. I can't send money. I can't do anything in the solution other than just view. So some of our customers have senior management that, hey, they just want to go in right away in the morning and see balances. So they get view only access. You also have the ability to have reports run automatically. Once you build that report, Treasury Curve can send that report out on whatever timeline you need it sent out. So that's pretty powerful. Question is, can that auto redeem mention be based on simple logic of minimum in account and or lowest daily yield? So today it is only based on minimum in account. So the lowest daily yield, we don't make investment decisions on your behalf. That's really, what you need to do. So we don't give investment advice that way. Next question, will automatically certain functions within finance and accounting improve efficiency and accuracy, or is manual entry still the best and most accurate way to complete low value, high volume work? That's a mouthful. So I guess the way I would answer that is, will automating certain functions within finance improve the efficiency and accuracy? Absolutely. Back in my treasury days, because I had these spreadsheets with multiple tabs, I was making mistakes, my team was making mistakes. And then I had to go back into my macros, my formulas, and figure out where I made the mistake. So does it add efficiency? Absolutely. That's really our value proposition, is the accuracy and the efficiency. And we're really trying to take out all that manual work. The other thing I wanted to mention about Move Money, the really cool thing is I don't know if you guys can see my screen personally, but here's my fob. So when I was in Treasury, I had 4 or 5 of these fobs. So when I walked, I clinked, especially when I was at a conference. And because I was an approver, I was an initiator, the great thing is we get rid of that. We have 2-factor authentication. The other really nice thing is we have the ability, so you have the ability to have users, and then a user can generate in a wire. Then you have approvers. So everybody that's an approver on that, pecking order will get an email indicating that, hey, Brian just initiated a wire that needs to be approved. You can go into that email. It has a hot link to our solution, and it takes you right to the notifications tab to approve that wire. Then once that wire is approved, it sends out another email saying this wire has been approved. So I love that functionality because, again, when I was in Treasury, I had to chase down our CFO. I was calling, I was going to a secretary, I was walking around the building. Most of us now work remotely, so we don't have that luxury, Plus we're in different states, so there's that. Next question. I want to ensure I'm not making assumptions or jumping to false conclusions. Can Treasury Curve fully perform daily cash flow activities by loading bank debits and credits, investment activity, then allow wire or fund money markets accordingly? Absolutely. So really, if you look at our Treasury Curve solution, we're really trying to take over everything you do in your portal. So our goal is to replace your portal. So you no longer have to go to your Silicon Valley Bank portal to look at your cash, to initiate wires. All of that information is coming into Treasury Curve. And you're taking away that process that you have with the bank. So for example, you don't have to go to the bank no longer needs approved signatories for wires, for example, because we're taking over that. So if you're using Treasury Curve to initiate a wire, all of that compliance happens in Treasury Curve. So we have audit trails for everything, who initiated the wire, who approved the wire, all of that information, all that approval process goes through Treasury Curve. Once the wire gets approved or that investment gets sent, the bank receives a swift message. They don't care who sent it. They just see the message come in and they act accordingly.
Yep. And Brian, just to add specific to security on that, so we do have dual factor authentication. And so all the things that you would expect specific to security that is built in to the Treasury Curve solution.
That's correct. Another question, what aspect of finance processes cannot be automated? I guess I would need you to be a little more specific, because really what we're trying to automate here is your entire global cash positioning. So again, including visibility, which we consider core, move money, reconciliation, and reporting. So from a finance perspective, all of that is automated. And then anything outside of that, not to do with cash management, is a totally different process, I guess.
And Brian, if we don't have any more questions, let's go ahead and have you stop screen sharing, and I'll go ahead and move to our next step in the presentation. And can everybody see my
Nancy,
screen
can I
again?
answer one more question, Nancy?
Sure, yes.
So will embracing certain aspects of automation give me control of my organization's data in ways that encourage strategic long-term thinking? Absolutely. What the system does, which I didn't really cover, is in our Analyze tab, we have the ability to analyze a number of different variables. You also have the ability to look at variance analysis. So that really helps you from a long-term perspective, especially on the forecasting side, to get better at forecasting. So I would say absolutely the technology will definitely help you from a long-term strategic perspective. Go ahead, Nancy.
Wonderful. And so we're coming back to the Treasury Curve solution. And so Brian walked through our core solution that gives you access and visibility to all your balances and transactions. He showed the move money, how you can do a wire. It works the same way for ACH and have templates there. You also walk through forecast and reconcile and those options. And then the one point we would make on our solutions is we do offer our solution in a soft dollar balance requirement. So that means sometimes when we're talking to Treasury organizations, they don't have budget for Treasury technology. And so we can offer a invest balance via Treasury Curve, and that invest balance would cover your technology costs. So we have different ways that we can approach it, either one that is a paid subscription or one that is what our clients call a soft dollar cost, where they're using balances to cover, and that balance requirement would cover their costs. And so we share that because a lot of times, just like IT resources, sometimes they're not available, sometimes tech budget and budget for technology is not there. And so we offer creative solutions to help meet our Treasury practitioners' needs from a technology perspective. And so the one thing that we would share just as it relates to Treasury Curve, we're often asked, how is Treasury Curve different from other solutions that are out there? Certainly a lot of folks that are joining us today are spreadsheet oriented. And so really Treasury Curve is a huge enhancement over kind of the spreadsheet approach that could be prone to errors as was discussed. And then if you compare us to Treasury management systems, there are a lot of things that we are doing that are outside of the scope of a TMS, such as the automation that we're providing, the ability to invest, the ability to have a soft dollar balance requirement to not pay hard dollars. We are a supervised financial institution. It's important to note that we are regulated. We believe that organizations that touch your financial data should be regulated, and that is part of why we are under this type of regulation structure. And then we've talked about how we are connected to all major financial institutions, and we do mainly connect to our banks via SWIFT, but we have other options such as Plaid, host-to-host, and other avenues should those be desired, including APIs, which is really the future as well. And then just as far as security, any solution that is going to be provided has to check all the boxes that you would have, and we certainly do, and we go through those processes with our make sure everything is secure, including, like we mentioned, if a solution that is a single sign-on is needed. And so that's kind of a good sharing of a question we normally get, but just to answer it, should you have that question. And then another question we typically get is, who are your asset management partners? And so our asset management partners are listed here in alphabetical order, just in fairness to the order that we put them, but lots of great partners that we have that we work closely with, and are all always looking to add asset manager partners should there be new ones in the future, and as well additional funds. And so from Treasury Curve's perspective, we are giving best share classes that are available, and that helps with making sure that the yields over time are very competitive. And so this is kind of the full lineup of asset managers that we offer via Treasury Curve. And then just as we look to summarize, why Treasury Curve is a great fit for your government entity, and it really goes down to really helping you with the challenges that you face. So the manual tasks that are tedious, helping to optimize and automate those, helping to get things more efficient for you so that there are less errors and there are less issues, and the timeliness of how fast things can be done when they are automated helps as well. And we think doing so, like we said, in a regulated environment makes sense. And the point that Brian made about our white glove service, Brian and his team do all the heavy lifting. There's not an IT resource that is needed for the solution that we've shown you today. We think that's super important, because if we're going to offer a solution and then you need resources you don't have that prevents you from having that, we essentially have taken that out of the mix so that we do the heavy lifting for you to make sure what your solution is, and all the work that goes into that we're doing for you. So we're very excited that we have checked all the boxes as it relates to the challenges you may face, and having a good plan to attack them for you. And we believe that our solution is a great solution for all government entities, and we very much appreciate your time here in partnership with CSAC to share our solution with you. If there's any additional questions, we're happy to take them.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, Nancy. You can answer. Do you have any other California counties using your product, and could some be provided to discuss processes with, if so?
Yes, we do have government entities that are using Treasury Curve, and we certainly can provide references over time of those discussions.
I wasn't sure on the confidentiality of if you were able to release, or if, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Without their prior approval, of course.
Yeah, we can get approval, but usually they're happy to talk, but we do have a number of government entities we work with today.
Absolutely.
Somebody
Wonderful.
asked
Go ahead, Brian.
Someone just asked in the chat, how often will there be this kind of session? We're happy if you want, either through CSAC or Treasury Curve, we're always happy to do these things. So just let us know.
Yeah.
And attendees, we will provide you with the panelists' information after the webinar. I'm going to send out an email, and so you'll receive those. If you do have a follow-up question, we're always happy to answer that. Nancy, Brian, thank you. This was fantastic. It was great information. I appreciate you both taking the time today and going through that with us. And it was really, really good information.
Thank you for having us. This was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, CSAC. Thank you, Alan and Chase. We really appreciate your time today, and everybody joining us via the webinar. We look forward to our further discussions, and thank you for the opportunity and the time today.
Absolutely.
Great. That rounds it out. Thanks everyone for making time to join us today. And I'll hand it over to Chase to give you some last minute details about where to find this recording and how to go from there. So thanks, Chase. Take it from here.
Absolutely. So we will be sending out, like I said, all of the panelists' information. You have questions, we're happy to answer those. This video was recorded, and so we're going to be posting that. I'll send you a link there. Any other feedback, we'd love to hear. I might attach a survey to that, so feel free to fill that out. We just appreciate your engagement today. Those were fantastic questions, and so we're looking forward to additional partnership with California counties and other public agencies. Treasury Curve, fantastic value. And so we see that through the dashboard. And that was great, Brian, that you were able to present that. It is really a huge value to public agencies and private corporations. That's one of the questions that came in, was to see if private organizations also use this. So just value all the way through. And so we're really excited to continue the partnership with Treasury Curve. Very excited for what's to come in the future.
Us too.
Very good. Well, thank you again. We're going to go ahead and close out. Thank you everyone for taking time out of your day, and we'll see you next time.